buys that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant searching for fine pearls. When he finds a pearl of great price, he goes and sells all that he has and buys it. The Gospel of the Lord. There is a recent phenomenon in our country among young people that is called escape rooms. Escape rooms, some of you may have been to them, is a room where you go into this place usually with some of your friends, and you get locked in there. And you have to try to find your way out by solving a series of puzzles and clues using all of the different items that are in the room. A lot of companies have come to use these as team-building exercises. My friends and I use them as friendship-destroying exercises. No, they're actually a lot of fun. But one of the interesting things about escape rooms is that you literally have to check every single item in the room. That's why you do it with a team. That's part of why it takes multiple people to be successful. Because you cannot overlook anything. This tiny little pot on the wall might actually be hiding a clue or something underneath it. These little color spots here, well, maybe you have to arrange other items in the room according to their color on those spots in order to unlock this cabinet. So the only way that you can find anything is to look at absolutely everything. I've always kind of wondered when I hear the story about the guy who finds the treasure in the field, how did he find a treasure in a field? We're never quite told that, are we? I don't know about you, but I've walked up and down this field many, many times. And I have never found a treasure. And if you have, please, we are making a pretty big building next door. The only thing that I can imagine is that this guy, walking along, his eyes were open. Not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally. He probably noticed that there was maybe some freshly dug earth here, where maybe there shouldn't have been. And he said, I'm going to look and see what's in here. He was probably the kind of person who looks around, who looks at the trees and the clouds and the sky and notices things. The type of person, perhaps, who notices that this cloud looks like Mickey Mouse. His eyes were open. He was prepared to find something even if he didn't quite know what it was. He found something because he looked at everything. We often think of our relationship with God as us searching for Him. We have to go out and we have to search for God, like He's elusive somehow. And so we have to do all of these things to try to find Him. But the Bible and the story of salvation history is not about man's search for God. It's about God's search for man. God looks for us. And the way that He looks for us is by putting Himself right in our way. God is revealing Himself to all of us at every single moment of our lives, whether we realize it or not. Psalm 19, one of my favorite songs, says, "Day spoke unto day, and night spoke unto night. No speech, no word, no voice was heard. Yet their span extended through all the earth." Creation itself is a testament to God's presence. When we look out at the beauty of this earth, we realize that there's something behind it. When we sit and we watch a sunset, scientifically we know what a sunset is, don't we? We know that light is being refracted a particular way in the sky, so that's why it looks orange or pink or purple. But that can't explain the way it makes us feel. That can't explain why we recognize beauty in creation. The people in our lives, the family and friends who make themselves known to us, who make their charity and love known to us, they are gifts and graces from God. even the people and the situations, the present moment that might be challenging or difficult, is a chance to find inner peace, the inner peace that God promises no matter what it happens we face. One of my favorite stories of how a saint became a saint is St. Ignatius of Loyola. St. Ignatius of Loyola was a soldier in Spain, and he had been hit in the leg with a cannonball. And while he was recovering, he was searching for something to read, and the only thing that he had was a Bible and the lives of the saints. So he started to read. And something St. Ignatius said is that as he began to read these things, he noticed that when he read the lives of the saints, the joy and the intrigue never went away. And the more he realized that, the more he said his eyes opened just a little. Sometimes that's all it takes. Our eyes opening just a little bit. Being a little bit more ready, a little bit more prepared to be surprised by the presence of God. A little bit more prepared, a little bit more ready to realize that He might just be revealing Himself to me right now. Even in the moment, perhaps especially in the moment when I least expect it. And so as I'm walking along with my eyes open, as I'm looking at everything, well, then maybe I find this treasure. Maybe I find this thing that my heart has been searching for. Maybe I find that peace or that joy that I've always longed for because God has put it right in front of me. And He's just been waiting for me to open my eyes just a little. Is there a cost to this? Yes, often there is a cost. But what is that cost? Cost of finding the treasure of God's peace and love and mercy is surrendering all of the things that fail to provide it. The true cost of God's love, the true cost of earning that, is letting go of our insecurities, of our sinfulness, of our pride, of our desire to do it all ourselves, and realizing that the greatest freedom of all is surrendering to the presence of God in our lives. The presence of God is all around us. The treasure of God's kingdom is all around us. If only we open our eyes just a little bit and allow Him to reveal Himself, allow Him to show just how much He cares, just how much He wants to be a part of our lives. And we will begin to find that one thing for which our hearts long, the one thing that can complete us when we finally start to look at everything.